talk
But
about how close my rankings were to this.
By the way, I still want to.
I see that edit button.
I still want to. Ari, where are
Ari,
you?
come outside.
And I come outside
The
and
committee
play.
cares so much about head to head. Yeah, but you had Memphis at 12. Let's be real.
I did have I didn't have Memphis at 12.
No, I'm talking about Sean.
I had Memphis
says,
at 12, and they're 12 seeding.
Yeah, I had.
I was making a joke. I was making a joke.
By the way, can we talk about the fact that I have like, if you look at this, I have this exactly. If you just flip flop Oregon and Texas Tech, I have the Memphis Georgia matchups. I have BYU, Notre Dame, Virginia, and
You had
Ole
A&M
Miss.
at 1, Ryan.
I did, but I'm saying the first round matchups I called. Like, if you just flip the 11-6 and the 10-7.
I technically have the first round matchups. I have Ole Miss at the same spot. I have Oregon, Texas Tech just at a different ranking area. I have Georgia versus Group of 5. And then I have Ohio State 1, Texas A&M 3, Alabama 4, and Indiana 2.
Like,
It's going to upset me if Texas beats Georgia and jumps Notre Dame.
If Texas beats Georgia, they deserve to make it. Like that, but that means that they're playing a lot better than what they've shown.
It sucks because they played Kentucky, like it was Kentucky, Arkansas, and Mississippi State back-to-back weeks and barely won all of those.
That's why I just don't think I don't think we're gonna have to worry about it. I just don't think they're gonna win.
Yeah, like I do think I'm surprised that then when they were making this, because obviously Virginia's not in it. They're just giving Virginia that because they're the highest ranked ACC team. I still think if you're the ACC champion and you're Virginia at 1 loss, they're going to put you ahead of Notre Dame. Like, I think you would see them flip flop Notre Dame and Virginia's placement. Because I think the conference championship, the extra data point, playing an extra game, that's going to matter. But we were talking about this, Sean, when you were out. If obviously it's going to change because Oregon, BYU, or Texas Tech, BYU have to play. A lot of these teams there's a lot of games that have to be played. If this is the bracket, I said I like Notre Dame's chances to make it back to the national championship.
I heard until we lose to Indiana, I do think that Indiana. I'm not going to be like Ryan and be like, but
I don't think they're that good.
Indiana had the same talent last year, and now they suck.
Now I'm not going to be like Ben, where I think Indiana is one of the best teams in the country, but I think our team matches up with Indiana better than 99% of the country with the trenches, with the DBs. I think we have the DBs to stop Mendoza to an extent, regardless if the defense has gotten worse. And I think we have the offense that they are not going to be able to win 51-6 to. So I think that we're one of the 3 to 5 teams that could have a really good game with them. And I think that we could definitely, I would pick us to beat Indiana. But this matchup, and then if we played A&M again, I'd pick us. It could look like a repeat to the national championship appearance. And if that happens, I'm going to go again. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. I can't. I won't. I shouldn't. But my question is this, that I agree with you, Ryan. I think that the path on this side of the bracket feels easier than the left side of the bracket to an extent. Again, you see Ohio State, Alabama, and then you see A&M, Indiana, and you're like, okay, right? Like, okay. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to ask you this. With where Notre Dame's at now, winning out, what percentage do they have to make it winning out? Now, I know you said 99%, but
I think 99%. If you beat Navy, you beat a ranked Pitt team, which, by the way, Pitt, I believe, is on a bye week this week, so Pitt's getting 2 weeks to prepare for Notre Dame, which will be interesting. So they have no opportunity to lose that ranking. I think Notre Dame wins out. I think they're good. Yeah, I think the one thing, though, like that 1% that could really screw over Notre Dame is if you have all hell break loose where you have a bid thief in the ACC title, because let's be honest, we're 3-4 weeks till the end of the season, and you have like 6 or 7 ACC teams that can play for the ACC championship because of their conference record.
I
We
think
could
the
potentially
ACC
see
gets
an
one now.
we could potentially see an SMU team make the ACC title and win it as a 3-loss team. Do I think that
But
happens?
then if they beat
No,
a
but it could.
one-loss Virginia, I do think this year, I think the ACC now is maybe 2, depending. And there has to be scenarios for that. But the most likely avenue for the ACC right now, I think, is a one seed. And the biggest thing for us is the Big 12, I think, because I don't think BYU and Texas Tech make it. What I find interesting is I do think Texas Tech is better than BYU. I think where we're saved is whoever wins this one wins the championship. If Texas Tech beats BYU and they go to 1 loss, and then they beat BYU again, or if BYU beats Texas Tech and then beats them for a 3rd loss, I think we'd be fine on that extent. Because I think the committee would be like, dang, BYU couldn't beat, or Texas Tech couldn't beat BYU twice. Why should they? Right? So I think it's going to be interesting. I don't know.
I think we're forgetting a wild card here.
What would that be?
Yeah, all right.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying it's very possible BYU loses in Clifton and UC goes and beats.
Oh,
Texas
I see.
Tech.
I think what's going to be, Cincinnati's going to upset BYU.
Then since he makes the Big 12 championship, then
yeah,
I've talked about it before. I think since he beats Texas Tech, I don't think we beat BYU in the championship.
For a team that doesn't play anybody this year, for playing 5 teams in the initial rankings.
Who?
Notre Dame. Am I wrong? 5?
Well, now we're playing 4 teams in the actual rankings now.
4 in the actual rankings now.
Yeah.
So
who are we playing? Miami, Texas
Miami,
A&M, Texas
A&M, USC, and Pittsburgh.
Pitt. Yeah.
For playing 4 teams that are in the actual rankings, I mean, I think Pitt's a threat for the ACC.
They are.
They are. But if we beat Pitt, and Pitt has 1 loss, right? Because they lost West Virginia.
But the Notre Dame loss wouldn't affect them in the ACC.
But that's my point. If we beat Pitt, and I understand Pitt to do it, Pitt has a tough schedule, but Pitt could beat Georgia Tech, and Pitt could beat Miami. It's not impossible. It's not likely. It probably won't happen.
I think they split it. I think
I don't think they make it if they split it.
Well, don't they get
but
Georgia
I think they
Tech
split it.
Don't they get Georgia Tech and Miami both at home?
You know what would be best case scenario is they lose to Georgia Tech.
Because that's their final 3 games.
I think case scenario is they lose to Georgia Tech, beat Miami, and then the committee's like, well, Notre Dame beat Pitt. Right, and they would have 3 losses at that point.
Which, by the way, I do want to put this out there. I don't think Pitt is a cakewalk victory for Notre Dame.
It's not.
Going on the road.
It can be a lot like what this BC game was, where BC chewed up a lot of clock, but BC just couldn't get a stop.
Someone said Bama 4 head-to-head over 5 Georgia. Georgia 5 head-to-head over 6 Ole Miss. Texas 11 head-to-head over 12. USC 19 head-to-head over 21. Michigan 21 head-to-head over Washington. Miami 18, 8 spots behind head-to-head win over Notre Dame. Operation Kill the ACC is in full effect.
Well, one game happened week 1. Every other game happened after week 4.
Yeah.
IU head-to-head over Illinois. Ohio State head-to-head over Washington. Who gives a shit?
See, and this thing, I don't understand what.
If you rely purely on head-to-head, then Florida State would be a top team in the country. Alabama would be unranked, and Ohio State wouldn't be shit.
Ari said Notre Dame is ranked ahead of Texas and Oklahoma. It's not just Miami. I think this year's Notre Dame team is the most misranked team I've ever seen in the initial college football playoff poll in a decade.
Oh, okay. All right. So now Ari was on he was on the Notre Dame bus last year, and now all of a sudden, because he got proven wrong, he's butthurt, and now Notre Dame's overranked. All right, Ari. So
I think Ari's just a fucking idiot.
My thing would be, what I would ask Ari is, so you want Notre Dame ranked at 19? Is that really what you want to do? Because that, if you went based off of it, Notre Dame would.
Thank God they're not ranked at like 50. I said this: if they were ranked 10 or higher, I think they're at 11 or higher. I think they're a lock. 12, it's 50-50. 13 or lower, I think it's not going to happen. Being 10 was best case scenario for us this week.
Yeah, no, I didn't think we would be at 10 personally. I thought we would be 11 to 12. I did, and mine, but I didn't think they would. I didn't think the committee would actually do it because
Then why'd you do it?
Because they were.
Ryan's showing he has no integrity, but keep going.
Wait, Ryan. So, were we supposed to do what we thought they should be, or what the committee would do?
If the season ended today, what would the playoff look like? That was the thing.
Like, so what would your playoff ranking be? Same thing as what the committee would do.
It's your opinion. It's not like that's the whole point.
So it's if the season ended today, what would I make the playoff?
Yes. So what would your playoff?
Then I did it wrong because I thought it was what the playoff seeding would look like tonight. That's what I thought it was, and that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's why Virginia. Like
too. Well, that's why Virginia. What were you doing, Ryan?
He was doing his opinion on what it should be.
No, that's what. Well, no, because I don't think Virginia is going to make it. I don't think BYU and Texas Tech are going to.
What it should be today, like tonight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like if the season ended today. Shout out my boy Luke Dog. And he is at 10 in the right spot. Oregon at 9 is blasphemy.
Luke, I'm going to be honest. You know, we have good conversations in that chat, making Ryan calm down. But if Oregon loses to USC, which I don't, we'll see. If that is the loss they do have and they finish 10-2, they will be behind Notre Dame. But I think you'll lose again. I just don't know who it's going to be.
I think what they're really showing here is that Oregon's resume is just not good.
They're not valuing the Penn State win, which is good.
Good, because Penn State sucks. Yeah. And I think they're more saying, hey, you only beat Penn State by 3 points. I think that's what they're saying, or 6 points.
Well, and I also think like
Oregon, about 6 points.
Oregon will have a chance to prove themselves. They've got at Iowa this week, who's a ranked opponent. They play Washington at the end of the year, who's a ranked opponent, and they play USC at home. Right?
I'd like someone to do the math of what teams have the most in order from 5 to the teams with 4 to 3 to 2 to 1, most ranked current teams on their schedule. I want to see what that looks like.
So I'm sure somebody's probably already got like a post about it on Twitter.
I know.
What did you say? What did you say?
I want to know in order, like Alabama has 5 like ranked wins. Notre Dame would be at 4. I want to see a list of
Notre Dame would, or you mean games played?
Of ranked teams. Like Notre Dame has 4 right now.
I think Oklahoma might have the most.
Yeah.
Because they ranked Tennessee. Because Oklahoma would have
someone said
Alabama, or Tennessee might have it as well.
The Athletic Stuart Mandel says, as I suspected, Notre Dame 10 is the highest ranked 2-loss team. 0 doubt they get in if they win out.
Yeah. It's a lock we get in if we win out, because that would mean that we found a way not to move up. I think right now I fucking hate saying it because it's getting excited about something we don't deserve realistically from how we started the season. We have a chance of getting a home playoff game, but also, like, if we somehow move down to outside the playoffs, going up, winning out, like,
that's an issue. That's what I said. Yeah. I would be okay if Notre Dame was outside of the top playoffs this week and missed it. I'd understand. But now that you have them in, if now they win out,
you have them in above. You have them in the last team in too. You have them above the last team in. They're the second to last team in. So they're not even the first off the chopping block. That's my thing. So like, if we finish if we win out, we do our job. It's just amazing.
Actually, we are last off the chopping block.
No.
Yes.
Because Virginia.
Virginia is conference champion.
Oh, they're Virginia. Oh, wait, that's true. Oh, wait, they even rank Louisville high. I didn't pay attention to that. Yeah, we would be. Fuck it, who cares?
Yeah.
Oh. I just don't see two Big 12 teams getting it. I think that's what my head's at.
I also think that this is the correct amount of SEC teams we get in.
4.
I think last year they had 3. I think 4 is the correct number. I think 5, depending.
5, it has to take an extreme year in the SEC. Last year they got 4. I think 4 is like their average.
Last year they got 3, didn't they?
Yeah,
Tennessee, Texas, Georgia.
Alabama, Georgia.
That was it.
No, they got another.
No, it was 3.
You're right. It was 3.
Because Alabama, Ole Miss, and South Carolina were all stacked together and missed out on the playoff.
Oh, wait, no, because SMU, yeah, they do. So, yeah, that's a bad year for the SEC is getting 3.
So I think 4 is their normal, and I think they'll get 4 this year.
It's like I think it's the same thing with the Big Ten. This is a bad year for the Big Ten when it comes to teams like that. I think 3 is bad, and then 4 is normal.
FSU loss means nothing. We've taken care of business outside of losing to number 2 by 10.
FSU, isn't he an Oregon fan?
He's an
I
Oregon
think you
fan.
have to say PSU.
So,
No, the FSU loss for Bama, he's saying means nothing. They're both one-loss teams.
I think Alabama's playing.
I'm sorry. I really hate to say it, but Week 1 games are surely proving that teams aren't as good as what they look to be Week 1. Like, look at every big win Week 1. Those teams look terrible now. LSU looks like shit. FSU looks like shit. Fucking the only team that doesn't look like shit is Ohio State.
Is that don't forget the college football playoff released the specific data that they are using for strength of schedule. It is now strength of record.
Yeah.
Also, I do want to point out, I think what the committee is saying with these first rankings, and then we'll move on to our other topics. I think what the committee is saying is we're going to reward you for scheduling tough non-con games, even if you lose said games.
I mean, Notre
Dame,
Notre
Dame, Alabama, Ohio State. I think this is showing. I mean, Texas A&M non-con. I think this is the committee saying, "Hey, Indiana, maybe next time instead of scheduling 3 FCS teams in your first 3 games, maybe don't cancel your series against Virginia. That we would give you some props for that."
But they're number 2.
But I'm saying, like, it's different because Indiana's undefeated and they beat Oregon. But you should get credit for that, and I think that's to me that's what they're saying a lot with these rankings. Oklahoma, even though they're one of the first teams out, I think they're getting a bump because they scheduled Michigan. They beat Michigan. Michigan is
my question is if Oregon loses to Iowa. If Oregon loses to Iowa, they'll fall below Notre Dame, but do they jump back over Notre Dame after they both beat a ranked USC and Pitt and then the last 2 games of the year?
No. If Oregon loses to Iowa, that means Oregon has a worse loss than Notre Dame.
It depends on how Miami finishes, but I think Oregon still makes it with 2 losses, but barely.
Isn't Oregon's got to be at Iowa?
Yeah.
So Oregon already has a worse loss. They didn't tell you that, Luke Dog.
Technically, they have the best loss.
Yeah. Oregon has a 10-point loss to the number 2 team. Notre Dame has a 1-point loss to the number 3 team. But it really depends on where Iowa finishes.
Well, I don't even think it's that compare because I think the losses are close enough. I think where it's going to get Oregon is Notre Dame winning 10 straight and Oregon losing a game in the middle of a run, right at the end.
Yeah.
That's
also, what does this say about the Big Ten? Like last year,
Big Ten did not prove what we thought it would prove. That's what it said.
Am I crazy for thinking that USC? I know this is crazy because we hate them. I think they could potentially win out. Like
Good.
I don't think it's crazy, and I think that would heavily benefit Notre
Like
Dame.
their toughest game is Oregon.
Yeah, if they win or if they beat Oregon,
Mhm.
like I think they
That same
probably
account
went up.
that made that Notre Dame comment said Notre Dame 6-2, best win is 19 USC. Louisville 7-1, beat Miami, and their 5-spot difference with a better record.
Louisville also lost to who again?
Virginia.
Yeah, I would say
Which
that's a
is
little
a
different.
top.
But who Virginia lose? But we're gonna do this narrative here. Who Virginia lose to?
Dude, they lost to NC State.
And what did Notre Dame do to NC State? That's my point.
Beat
They,
them
they
by
try to use this. They try to use the transitive properties, but they don't stop the transitive properties. They use it to their narrative. They'll reach for anything they can. Transitive properties does not matter.
Send me that comment, by the way, Sean. Send it
Oh
to me in the
Jesus!
group chat. I'll respond to that.
I will say this. This is actually one of my favorite reporters. She's always on the halftime show for
Nicole Arbach.
Yeah, she
She
said
knows ball.
Miami dropped enough that it will be able to rank Notre Dame well ahead of the Canes and not factor in the head-to-head result.
Yep.
She's actually probably my favorite. Like
dude, I'm not joking. She legitimately.
She knows how to beat quarters.
She knows ball. Like
she
that's
does
crazy.
Ball. She's a beast, man.
But she's not like people. People just see Notre Dame. I'm telling you this right now. If this happened to any other team in the country, no one would give a shit. But it's because it's Notre Dame, and people just want to hate on the independent school because we're doing what none of their schools can.
Well, that's what I get mad about. Is I agree with conference until it gets to the point where Oregon and Notre Dame both aren't playing in the Big Ten championship. Both are playing the same technical amount of conference games because of the ACC deal. If they're not playing in a conference championship, what's the difference between Notre Dame and Oregon's schedule? That's my thing, right?
Notre Dame has a better schedule, has a better resume right now than Oregon.
We should, hey, Ryan, since you're doing whatever you're doing, pull up the strength of record ESPN shit.
How do I do that?
Here, I got it.
ESPN. You go to their FPI, like strength of schedule.
FPI
You go to their
ranking.
strength of record. And
Football Index, FPI. Strength of record. Strength of schedule.
How are people thinking Texas should be above Notre Dame?
So right now, Notre Dame's strength of record is 15. Texas's is 9. But strength of record right now, Oregon's is 8. But this is what I think people are looking at. They're looking at strength of schedule, which technically speaking, if we want strength of schedule, then Purdue deserves to be in. They have the number 1 strength of schedule in the country.
I think strength of record is a combining of strength of schedule mixed with how a team looks and how a team.
It's mixed with what their current rankings are, what their current like offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency, and then like what they had leading up to that game. It's a whole bunch of different shit.
You know what annoys the fuck out of me, and we gotta kind of move on because it's been 45 minutes on this. But what annoys the fuck out of me with these SEC fans are the people that'll say, "Why is Texas ahead of or why is Notre Dame ahead of Texas?" You'll bring up, you got blown out by a bad Florida team who won't make a bowl game, and the response will be, "Well, anything can happen in the SEC. It's hard to go into the swamp and beat Florida. That's a good quality, hard-fought game in the SEC." Then you bring up, well, South Florida beat Florida in the swamp. And they'll be like, well, see, the transitive property doesn't work. You can't argue with these people.
The SEC is going to let Georgia lose to Texas to get them both in. Now, I got a question with this, though, before we move on.
Yeah.
You know, Notre Dame's at 10 right now. Once a Big 12 team loses, they're going to be at 9 with 3 weeks left, with a ranked win about to happen. I just don't see them falling out at that point. I think it would be atrocious. And I wanted to bring this up because I talked to my brother-in-law about this. Penn State and head-to-head didn't matter once that I remember in history was when Ohio State was 11-1. Penn State was 11-2. Yes, they had one more loss, but they had the same amount of wins. Penn State beat Ohio State and won the Big Ten. And they still got left out over Ohio State.
That was at the time when like this stuff all that and the playoffs already showed it. Unless if you had like 2 or 3 high level wins, they weren't putting you in with 2 losses. The only team that ever got close was Auburn, but then they lost in the SEC championship.
By the way, I got a repost by Ari, so I'll have to read that.
Let me read it out loud.
I
hope you weren't a troll.
No, I wasn't.
Ari's a fucking idiot. It doesn't really matter.
Here, I'll share.
I like the other guy.
Yeah, the other guy's chill. Ari just fucking goes on his tangents of bullshit.
Like
it's fucking. He lives in the prison of bullshit on the planet of fuck.
Yeah. So
Step Brothers.
What I told him was, I commented under his post that you guys talked about. I said, you yourself on your show said you think Notre Dame is a top 10 team. Seems like you're just upset about being wrong about Notre Dame having to be ranked behind Miami. I don't know what you expected. Did you really expect Notre Dame to drop to 19? Just admit you were wrong and move on. I usually agree with your takes. And so his response was, I think Notre Dame is really, really good. I think Notre Dame could win multiple games in the CFP. I picked them to advance the national title game last year. My view on Notre Dame's ranking doesn't come of a place of hate. I just want teams to be ranked properly. And if it wasn't your favorite team, you'd be like, what the fuck, too? It doesn't make sense. No.
The problem is that you wouldn't give a shit if it wasn't Notre Dame. Stop it. Just admit. I can admit it. I hate USC. If tomorrow morning San Andreas fault line breaks open, the USC campus goes in the middle of the ocean, I fucking cheer. I'm not going to lie to you. But, oh my God, you keep trying to play this shit of, oh, well, if it wasn't your favorite team, you wouldn't care. Like, shut the fuck. If it wasn't Notre Dame.
My question is, why are they upset about Notre Dame at 10, but not Texas at 11? Because I think if you're arguing that's bad, you could argue that's just as atrocious.
Because it doesn't fit his narrative. It doesn't fit the narrative he's been pushing. He's a pencil pusher. That's what they do.
Do you think the media is going to control what the committee thinks with all of this?
No, I think the committee has shown a lot that they don't give it. They care more about what they see on the field. If they cared what the media thought, Notre Dame would be ranked, I think, 13 or 12 right now. So
the biggest outliers in the poll from the AP to the college football playoff, the winners, not ranked to 20 is Iowa, Utah 17-13, Texas 13-11, and Pitt not ranked to 24. Losers, Memphis 22 to not ranked, entire group of 5. Oregon 6-9, Missouri 19-22, Virginia 12-14, and Tennessee 23-25. So why is Tennessee ranked? But it's all right. Yeah, I mean, I think these rankings actually aren't terrible.
Which, by the way, like, again, he's getting ratioed. If you want to go to this book, he's getting ratioed in the comments.
I'm not going to troll him.
I'm not going to troll him, but he is getting ratioed right now, which is kind of crazy. You have a Bama fan on there, by the way, said
and the college football playoff chair emphasized that preseason and other polls do not matter to the selection committee. He said,
but
even about what the AP poll is or was.
Even a Bama fan commented on this and said, I'm a Bama fan, and I hate ND, and their ranking makes sense to me. So it's not just Notre Dame fans, but yeah, we've had our fun with that.